Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I have a fun fold to share with you. It's a double pop-up card, so it folds flat to go in the envelope like that, and then it just pops up into give you the 3D effect, and then this part opens up so that you can write your message here. And I've used this as an opportunity to showcase a couple of products. One we've had for a little while, which is the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper. You can see I don't have an awful lot of it left because I have been using quite a bit of it recently. But it's beautifully foiled on one side and then has a sort of a printed side on the opposite side. So that's one of the products that I'm sharing with you today. And then the other is this stunning Mother of Pearl card. And this is in the mini catalogue for January through June 2022. And you can see there, look at all that. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Lovely and shimmery, and I just love it. So those are two of the products we're looking at. So the supplies that I need for this particular card, I've got them over here. And I'm using 3 pieces of Old Olive card. And this largest one is 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then this one is 6 1/2 by 2 1/4. Now you don't have to worry about the taking notes, because if you look below this video, there'll be a link to my blog, and the information for this particular card will be on my blog. As I say, just follow the link. So of these two pieces, they're actually scored at 4 scores, each 3/4 of an inch apart. And then this one is scored, just scored at 1/4 inch. We're also going to need some double-sided tape, and we're going to pop in the score lines. So we're going to start with the 4 on the largest piece of card. I can't find my bone folder at the minute. I have one, but you know, the scissors are going to work just as well. And I'm going to pop a piece of double-sided tape on what is the outside of the top piece. If you can hear voices in the background, my husband's on a video conference call. I apologize for that. Right, so I'm going to put a couple of pieces down and then burnish them. And then what I'm going to do next, when I've taken the backing off, I'm going to bring this piece round and I'm going to pop it in the final score line. That score line there, and then stick it down. So there we go. Oh, so we're going to bring that piece round here and just make sure the cut edge is snug into that fold, and then just let it stick down. And then if you fold that nice and flat, give it a good old press to make sure that it's held securely. Now I do like to use double-sided tape when I'm assembling these kinds of cards, because there's quite a bit of weight in them, and there's the other glues like this Stampin seal and such like. They just really, it's a lot to expect of those. And as far as I'm concerned, as you know, I like to use liquid adhesive. However, it takes a little bit of time for it to dry on these 3D projects. And so by using this tearing tape, it does mean that I can have them going stuck straight away, and then I can move on and show you all the steps. Now, you may see I've just cut this little bit of double-sided tape a weeny bit too long, but instead of trying to trim it off, all I'm going to do is just flip it back on itself, and there it's all gone. And by not trimming it off, it means I don't get sticky scissors. All right, so there's that piece. Now, while I've got my tape out, I'm going to put some tape on my other pieces. So this is the centerpiece, and I'm just going to put my tape above this line, above the score line there. Okay, so 1 and 2, and then while I've got this in my hand, I'm just going to attach this to the side that is opposite this, the long panel. And again, I'm going to put a couple of strips down. Like that. And I'm not going to take the backing off of these two just yet, because I want to keep them, stop them sticking on everything. So I have a piece of very vanilla card, and this, although it looks square, is actually 4 by 4 1/4. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got the right way round before I set to do my stamping. So I'm going to just get a piece of scrap here to use to stamp. Now I'm going to be using the coordinating stamp set with this designer series paper, and that's artistically inked. And I'm going to use this lovely flower, the leaves, and the best wishes. So here we go. And I'm using the lovely polished pink and my old olive. I think, well, I always say that I like my greens. One of my most favorite greens is the Pear Pizzazz, but there are some things that I will prefer to use the old olive green, so that's another favorite of mine. So I'm just going to pop here. So there's my leaves, and I'm just going to kind of just smooch in a little leaf either side here, like that. So I'm done with my inks for a few moments. I've got a little bit more stamping to do later on, and then I'm going to just attach this. I'm just going to double check again to make sure that I have got it the right way round. Okay, yes. So there, so that piece is going to go like that. And there's my bit. I've set that aside to dry for a few moments. Then I've got my other two pieces. Now I do have some of the designer series paper here. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 3, and I'm going to stick it on the front. So I'm making sure that my adhesive is toward the back, and then I'm going to stick it here on the front, like this. Set that, I'm just going to set that aside for a couple of minutes to just dry. And then this piece is 3 1/4 by 2. You can see both, I've used both sides of the foiled ones. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so that is going to go on the front with this little loopy piece at the back. Now, I was inspired with this for this card by Iced Images, it's known as, and when that talented card crafter created her card, it was quite a big card. It was about, well, I'm thinking it was probably about at least about 6 inches square. And here in the US, when we post our letters, anything, we have a sort of certain size, and if it's a square or we have to pay extra basically for postage. So I decided that I would go ahead and create a smaller version so that I could put it in a regular size envelope. And the other thing is that the example I followed on the YouTube was all the pieces were kind of fixed so that you would have to perhaps write on the back. So I just changed it slightly so that the card would actually open for you to write your message on. So those were my changes based on the inspiration. Though at this point, I'm going to pick off my backing on this piece here, and I'm going to line up the bottom edges and attach this to the outside of that pillar. If you can see there, I've attached it there. So again, I'm just going to flatten it, and when you're done, all the layers are sort of lined up. It's still going to fit in a regular size envelope. And then my next piece, it's got the tape on the back. I'm going to take the backing off and attach it to the front of these 2 layers. And again, I'm going to stand this up and line up the bottom so that the card is level at the bottom. And I'm just lining up I'm not doing terribly well there. Can you see I'm just lining up the bottom here like that? And then I'm just going to press it down flat, and you can still see that it's all sort of still in this footprint here. So that's the basic construction for the card, and really it's just a case of decorating up. Now, I said that I wanted to use this lovely mother of pearl card, and I have actually cut this piece out using the coordinating dies for the artistically inked stamp set, which is called Artistic Dies. So this is the die that cut it out, and then this is the leaf die. And what I did was I just cut out a few leaves on a scrap of old olive, and I'm just going to trim those off, and I'm just going to use those separately. So we're going to set those to one side. Now, I want to attach this piece into here, and I like the idea of having some of this all sort of hanging up at the top so you can really appreciate all the beautiful laciness of it. So I kind of fiddled and twiddled around until I found the bit that I would like to be up in the air, and I need to make sure that it doesn't go too much higher. It doesn't go high above this level here and doesn't go outside of this here. And that's why one of the reasons that I put this piece on first is to make sure that I would have, I didn't put my piece in too far over, if you see what I mean. So it looks like if I have this piece here, I just need to swirl it round a little bit so that it doesn't go outside of the footprint of my card. I think I'm there now. Now this means that when I put adhesive on this, I cannot put any adhesive above here, above this piece here. Otherwise, when I close it, it's going to stick down together. So to make sure that I don't get carried away putting my adhesive on, I'm going to hold it in my hand like that. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of my hand. Now, if you're allergic to this, then obviously don't do that, but I'm okay with it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on various points of this piece, and maybe a little bit in the middle of my flower. And then I'm just going to pop it back in and just sort of shimmy it down until it, oops, it's a bit too high there. I need to just shimmy it around a bit more. I think I've got it there now. And then just lay it, and it will take a few moments for it to stick down. And I've got a bit here that's a bit, I'm just going to take a little bit of that adhesive off my hand, and I'm just going to stick it underneath there like that. So that really showcases the die, as well as that really, really pretty paper. It just catches the light. And so my final little bit of decoration is going to be a tag. Now, normally when I make tags, I stamp first, then punch. However, with this one, I want to be able to know exactly where I need to stamp. And I'm using the Elegant Tag Punch, really pretty punch. And I am going to stamp my greeting first. And I'm going to put my greeting up toward the top left-hand corner here. And then I'm going to fill up my empty space with one of the little blossom. Bring that in here. There we go. There's my tag. I'm going to attach it with a couple of mini dimensionals. Now I want this again to sort of pop up above my card layers, sort of like this. So I've deliberately put my dimensionals toward the bottom here, and I'm going to try and put it so that it sort of hangs over a little bit, so it doesn't obscure this pretty die cut. And I can get away with that because when the card's folded flat, that has kind of moved further into the middle of my card, and so it's not going to get smooshed up in the envelope. So let's just kind of start again. I'm going to move these pieces out and pop that there like that. Just press it down firmly. I have a little twist of the polished pink open weave ribbon, which I'm just going to pop there, and a pearl. Can't not get away with having some bling on there as well, which I'm going to pop up there. And then I've got my little leaf. I think I'm only going to use one, but maybe I could use two. I'll see how it goes. And I'm going to just tuck my leaf underneath my little piece of ribbon there. And there, we're done. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this fun fold and me showing you some, using some of the products. And I'd like to thank Iced Images for their inspiration. If you've enjoyed the video, I'd be really pleased if you go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate that if you did that as well. So thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye for now.